cut me too deep. I think I'm dying here, man.
Welcome to the 3B Video Deep Cut Podcast.
Watch a few movies, take a few notes. It was fun.
Aw, yeah. It's that time again for another bi-weekly podcast with your hosts, Rotten Roger DeMarco and...
Evil Dead Inks.
Oh, yeah. And, it is,
We're back on the track.
Yeah, another 2 weeks have gone by, and we are back to Camp Crystal Lake. And you know what they say? It's got a death curse. And it damn sure does.
They say that there's a legend around here about a killer that's buried, but not quite dead.
A curse on Crystal Lake. A Jason Voorhees curse.
So yes, we are on to part 7. We are starting the Kane Hodder 4 movie journey, where he will be portraying the role of Jason Voorhees for 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Can't see me. That was a visual gag. I just threw up the X.
Threw up the X. I don't think Kane's straight edge.
X, gon' give it to you. And for the people at home that are new to the podcast, or just new to us in general,
welcome.
We've spent a good 2-3 years professing our love for this film, and this is your baby, right? This is my. They say you never forget your first, so this is my first. Yeah, and you got an excellent story about your first viewing of this film, and it's just okay. Look, when you think of Michael Myers, you think of the look from the first Halloween. When you think of Freddy, in at least for you and I, we think of the Part 4 look or the 3 look, but the 4 is the most mainstream. And when you think of Jason Voorhees, you cannot help but think about this look. This is the definitive Voorhees look, even as much as I love the Part 3/4 look.
Yeah, and even director John Buechler always would get a chuckle out of people that are like one of the producers of the movie was criticizing how he made Jason look, and I was like, now a lot of people hail it as the definitive look of Jason. Mm-hmm. This is the Jason that's been waterlogged for 10 years and has literally
3 feet from the surface.
He shows all the battle damage that he has absorbed through the previous 5 movies, not 6, because he sits out on part 5. So the previous 5 films of worth of damage supposedly is shown,
right? Because he wasn't in the first one. Well, I guess he was waterlogged in the first one. So
yeah, he maybe not in the first one. He's definitely not, but in a dream in the 5th one. So these fucking franchises, man. Only when you're dissecting it for podcasts and live streams do you really like. Yeah, damn, there's no sense really is made much of this. They just kind of just go, and we're just like, I'll go.
Whatever. Yep. Nonsensical hullabaloo. But going back to what you were talking about, one of the people on Buechler's crew, I believe it was one of the producers of Friday 7 was saying it was a female. Yeah. She hated the way that Jason looked unmasked, that he looked like a frog.
Yeah.
And we got to meet John Carl Buechler in 2013. So we got to... I'm not sure what you talked to him about, but I talked to him about a couple of different things. And one of the things I brought up was I showed him this meme that I had made that was of Part 7 Jason, like with his mask, right when the mask like breaks in half and he's like doing that growl or whatever. And it said, "Tell John I look like a frog one more time, I dare you." And he really got a kick out of that. And he was like, and you know what? She was dead
Stupid.
Wrong. Dead fucking wrong. And, I got to agree. As much as I like to think about the Tom Savini grown-up Part 4 look with the mask off, boy, it does not get much better than that 7 look, dude.
It is menacing as fuck. Like, it is... It's a combination of, like, the Tar Man and a little bit of some, like, Harryhausen Skeletor-looking shit.
And also Prison, because Buechler had worked on that prior with Kane.
Yeah, it's where he met Kane. And decided that he wanted Jason to be Kane when he got the spot to do Part 7, and he had to do a mock-up of Kane in the get-up to make the sales pitch, because as apparently Paramount executives were like, we think he's a little too small to be Jason.
Right. Yeah, Kane, Hodder, and Small don't belong in the same fucking sentence. But for the people at home who don't know the official story, you want to clue our listeners in as to why Buechler was so impressed with Kane on the set of Prison, and what solidified the fact that he was going to cast him as Jason.
Well, because Kane's the guy that doesn't say no to anything that most people would be like, I am not doing that. Which, in the case of Prison, there was a sequence where this prisoner that's been long dead bursts from the ground.
The Scolari brothers!
Yeah. And he has, in the script, a bunch of night crawlers like coming out of him and coming out of his mouth. And Kane just suggested, well, I could put a handful of these things in my mouth and open my mouth and have them falling out of my mouth. And John was like, you'd be willing to do that? And Kane's like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. I'll do anything. He puke on camera. He doesn't give a shit. Kane will do.
There's a steady paycheck involved. I'll do anything.
Yeah, Kane doesn't say no to much. So he's like, you know what? That's impressive that this guy will just do whatever is needed to make a really good shot work. So when you're like, well, I need somebody to be submerged in water for an entire day doing scenes. We need to
in some tank, yeah.
Yeah, we need this guy to fall backwards through a flight of stairs.
Also, that stair gag, that was Kane's suggestion, right? Because he was supposed to.
He's supposed to take a hit in the chest from the light.
And just
tumble down the steps, and already Kane's like, I don't know if Jason would do that. So he was like,
just have it tumble.
Yeah, just have him hit me in the face, and I'll fall through the steps. And his head actually fell through. Now I know what it feels like to fall through balsa wood, not steps, but balsa wood in general. But he fell through the very last balsa wood steps. So if he had just missed it by a fucking couple of inches,
oh god, it would have broken his neck. But let's talk about
easily
the most impressive stunt in the movie, at least for me, and that is when the porch collapses and just fucking straight up pancakes his ass.
Yeah, the other scene that really where wearing the hockey mask saved his ass, because he had that mask on, and that he didn't expect the weight of that porch to be as heavy as it was, and
because it was a faux porch, right?
I don't know if it's a faux porch or not, but either way, he's like, how one of those, how bad could it be kind of things. And then when he
real fucking bad.
And then when it hits him, it drives him face down into the steps. So, and he's wearing the mask, so his face boom, 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 boom down the steps, which apparently was shot earlier on. So, like in the scene where he busts into the bedroom and throws one chick out the window, you look on his nose, you can see a little squibble on his nose. That's from him fucking nose diving and taking a fucking header down the steps from the weight of that roof. Right,
and see, what I'm pretty sure, the way that I remember it, from the stuff that I've watched and the stuff that I've read, is that was some sort of obviously it was a collapsible porch, so it wasn't real. It wasn't meant to be as structurally sound as a real porch. But the problem is, when the art department or whoever was building that mock porch, they put real shingles on it. And anyone who has ever done any roofing or whatsoever, like a
handful
of
those goes a long way. Yeah.
Yeah, like one bag of shingles, and you have to carry it up a ladder. Like I used to do that. So it sucks ass. So if you're putting 1,000 pounds of shingles on a faux roof, like it's still a faux roof, but there's 1,000 pounds extra on it rather than just putting some fucking slit construction paper on there or some shit and shooting it wider or something. Like, yeah. I don't know.
I thought for sure. I always forget that you're like a big fan of that porch scene, but I thought when you were talking about the stunt most remembered, I thought you were going to go with the fire bit, because this is one of those.
Yeah,
this is one of those like coming off the accident. Here he is going to do a full body burn. And up to this point was one of the longest burns done on camera. Mm-hmm. And they have the ignition on camera, which is always something they normally cut away from and cut back to the guy already on fire with this furnace that shoots out flames that actually Lou Carlucci had engineered, and he was one of the guys that is one of the craftsmen that designed the Freddy Krueger glove in the first Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nice. Look at that. That was a deep cut in and of itself. But yeah, no, that burn, that was definitely going to get brought up because for any of our listeners, if you don't know about Kane Hodder's backstory, which sometimes I think like, oh sure, everybody knows that, but you know, the reality is that not a lot of people deep dive as hard as we do or into things as much as we are.
It's something we've had to teach ourselves. Oh, everyone doesn't do this. It's
right.
Just us.
So you can do this back to back. You can get the Kane Hodder book Unmasked and read about it, or you can just, if you don't like reading and you want a condensed version, look up the Kane Hodder documentary To Hell and Back, and it kind of
which I think that was on. I think it's on Shudder.
You mean
Shudder?
Exactly. That or Prime, but I know that's streaming somewhere. I really want to say that's on Shudder, the To Hell and Back documentary.
It might be, and it's a perfect glimpse into the reality of bad medical practices, and all this stuff that just
short
condensed
version of that. If you're haven't gotten to it, or just that you'll be able to continue following on with what we're talking about, is very, 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 very early on in his career, Kane had a fire stunt that went bad and burned a good significant portion of his body, almost killed him, and he's got a lot of scar tissue and kind of mental baggage about it. So just imagine the worst car accident you could have ever been in, and then someone's like, hey, you want to do a car stunt? And being like, all right, yeah, let's give it a shot.
Right. That's Kane is a pro, man. And I think there was another stuntman on set that was a good buddy of Kane's, if I'm not mistaken. I think I might be mixing two stories, but like there was a buddy who was like, I
think
you don't have to do this if you don't want to, and then he was like, I think
that's a separate thing. I think I know what the story you're talking about is. Like a buddy was doing a movie. He's like, hey, I'm doing this fire stunt. Do you want to do it? Yeah,
that might have been after Part 7.
Yeah, it was somewhere, but I know the one you're talking about where he didn't feel pressured. It wasn't like, do you want to? He was just like, I'm doing this. You want to do it? Like, you can do it with me if you want. And the casualness, I guess, of asking the way it was, he's like, all right, that it doesn't have any pressure to it, so why?
He didn't feel pandered to, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, all hail Kane Hodder. We are definitely in the Kane Hodder camp, haha, because we love and respect the guy. But back on track with the movie, this is another thing that I really wanted to bring up because you and I are big fans of Elm Street 2, which is highly regarded as one of the gayest horror films ever made. It just is.
Yep, it is.
It just is.
It embraces it these days.
Yeah, and there's no tiptoeing around it. That's just what it is. And
no.
And Friday 7 to me is almost on par with it, but in a slightly different way. Like
it's actually subtext as opposed to what they say is subtext for Nightmare 2. That's pretty much like, no, it's pretty much out there. This is the one that's like the underground version is, it's comically called Friday the 13th among a lot of the crew and shit, because I guess a majority of the cast was actually gay actors.
Yeah, so Billy Butler, Kevin Spiritus, who goes by a different name now, Kevin something.
I always thought that dude was could be a stuntman for Van Damme.
Yeah, dude. And he's like a super clean-cut, awesome, nice boy next door. In essentially every movie he's in, that's kind of the character he plays. He's really likable. And there's a couple other people in the movie who they're all in relationships, like boyfriend, girlfriend. And
the couple that's in the van, I think.
Yeah, and it doesn't. It's not very genuine. Like it's hard to explain. Like you can pick up on a little bit of vibes. Like the cast, they don't really have that real chemistry. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I can a little bit, but not tremendously. Like I was more on the surprised end when it was revealed that the whole Friday the 13th thing about this one. I was like, huh, oh, okay. I didn't really. It's not overt. At least to me, I was just like, huh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't really know that.
I will say that, like, as a kid, obviously, I wasn't picking up on any of that stuff.
I still don't really between Dude and Tina. I get like the storyline wise why it's a rocky start, but I never really chalk that up to, well, it's because they both are into the same type of sexual partner.
And, to be fair, 100% completely honest, I don't know that I ever would have picked up on it had it not been spelled out for me in Crystal Lake Memories or his name was Jason, because it just kind of comes across as not chemistry on set. It doesn't come across as
he's gay.
Not chemistry in real life situations.
I would not have pegged anybody. Nobody comes off as overtly gay. Not even Billy Butler, which I would have just known just because we have a history with him. Great guy, and he's got like a triple header for horror movies at the time frame between this, fucking Ghoulies 2, and Leatherface Part 3.
Mm-hmm. And obviously we can't talk about this movie without discussing the fact that the MPAA came after this movie super hard, and so what
maybe
we're left
the hardest.
with is...
I feel like this is the hardest hit movie maybe ever by the MPAA as far as what it just hurts us, because so much they cut and we'll never, ever get a Redux version.
Yeah, and what's crazy about it is minus the nudity in this movie. Okay, so let's say there's no nudity in this movie.
That's a shame.
If there was no nudity in this movie, you could run it on fucking TBS at noon. Because it's so watered down. In fact, I know I've seen it on when I was growing up on like USA at like noon, in the middle of the day. Like, here's Friday the 13th Part 7.
Yeah.
Because it's, and that's even, a TV edit. But they don't have to edit out any gore, really, because
it's already done for them. They're like, shit,
it's already non-existent.
Great job editing this, Tim. Thanks. It was already done. It was already this way, but I'll take credit for it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that Tim dude, he was just swapping out curse words and cutting out a couple of frames of nipples, but he didn't have any gore to get rid of.
Nipples, bush, and butts.
And, So the MPAA fucking mauled this movie, which is a shame because Beekler really brought his A game. He had like the best crew with him.
He's famous for saying, quote, ratings board raped my movie.
Mm-hmm.
Which is bad. I get that's bad. The editing, everything out the MPA had is bad. What is worse for me is that all the stuff that was cut was by Paramount order trashed. So the only footage that exists, if you happen to pick up that new Shout Factory edition of the whole Friday franchise, they have a whole section dedicated to what they was able to not restore but put up in the condition it's in, which is super rough,
real bad,
and unable to be restored into good quality. But you can still see. I mean, I would still take a fucking cut. Even with this, you go from the high def 4K holy shit edition to this, like 6th gen VHS run footage. I would still be fine because it's so awesome. Actually, the only edit that is improved, I think, and I think even John agreed that it was better, was the sleeping bag kill.
Yeah, because it was okay, it crosses a line at some point. It becomes a parody. It becomes overly gratuitous. With the one smack, it's so fucking impactful.
It's impactful and scary and fits the mode of this movie. The like 5 or 6 whacks that Kane did, perfect for Hatchet, which apparently that just filled up like several gallons of fake blood in a sleeping bag, which was super heavy. So it's like a couple 100 pounds of him just banging this shit against a tree.
And he's got rubber gloves on, like
yeah, and he can't see. And even the funniest part about all of it to me is technically where he's got a hold, he's smacking her feet in a sleeping bag against a tree, but drops it and it's just her head. But I'm guessing that actress had a no nudity clause, because you notice she's also fucking holding that sleeping bag like right at like a collarbone
nipple level. Yeah, like nope, not getting to see these warlocks.
So between using the feet, replacing it for the head, and then holding the sleeping bag, I'm like, yeah, Tapehead is going to be just fine. When you're looking at stuff like technically like that, like, because we're gonna overanalyze the shit out of things we're not getting continuity wise in our movie, but seeing something like this in Friday the 13th, we're like, okay, I don't feel like I should be stressing so much about it, because look at this right here.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's good. Just go.
Yeah. So, in this movie, we haven't even talked about it. We get Lar Park Lincoln.
Yes.
Who, Evil, do you want to... We're 20-some minutes in, but if you want to give the brief plot synopsis.
Jason is still dead, but he's wrecked her. This entire film is essentially, what if Jason fought Carrie? Mm-hmm. Lar Park Lincoln is Carrie. She is brought to this she's on the part of the lake that is the timeshare section of Crystal Lake, where you can rent a cabin for the summer, because there's family portraits and shit in this dusty ass cabin, which of course has to have kids renting out, I'm guessing, the cabin next door. I don't really understand how this cabin setup works, but Lar Park Lincoln's doctor is trying to make X-Men, apparently, and brought her to this place to try to provoke her psychokinesis into something he can manage and control, and I'm assuming turn over to the government for a ultimate weapon type shit.
Some fucking fire starter shit.
Yeah, because once she was a child, she accidentally killed her father by causing him to collapse on the dock of Crystal Lake and drown from dockwood crushing him and making him sink to the bottom of the lake. So she's trying, in her telekinesis ways to resurrect him, but swerve, bro, Jason's the one down there. So she accidentally resurrects him, and of course Jason ensues with what he does best. And then in the end of the movie,
teenagers all over the lake.
End of the movie, Lara Park's like, let me try it one more time, and actually does resurrect her ghostly father. And just like the first movie, you're not sure if it's real life or if it's Memorex or a dream. Her ghost dad throws the chain around Jason's neck. Ghost dad throws the chain around the neck, sinks Jason to the lake. Movie. And that's where Jason will lay, under a rubble pile of debris at the bottom of the lake as we begin.
Until 2 weeks from now.
Yep. Until Jason takes Manhattan, when somehow there's now a electrical wiring system that's underneath the lake that they just constructed around this corpse.
Yeah, it's just fucking ridiculous. 2 things. Number 1, young Lar Park Lincoln in the flashback or the opening of the film is played by the actress Jennifer Banco, who is also is a 3B video alum. Evil and I love ourselves some Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 Leatherface, and she is in that movie as well. So she has this weird little double feature for us. Yeah, with Billy Butler, which fucking insane. Second thing.
Yes.
This is the weakest ending in the goddamn franchise. It's it's one of the best movies. Shittiest fucking ending.
I don't mind the ending.
Call it Finn when the fucking cabin blows up and melts all the cameras. That's sufficient. Instead, we get Kevin Spiritus constantly getting knocked unconscious, who has his
dude
head is as strong as a fucking egg, apparently.
That dude will kill Lar Park Lincoln just due to his CTE that he has suffered throughout this movie. My God, does that dude got some brain trauma going on? Yeah. I dig the ending. You get a cameo by director John Buechler. I'm just that weird stickler. I like the shot of the like retro looking ambulance driving away.
Yeah. The very last shot. The
weather and shit and fog in that shot. I just it has a special place for me. I'm just weird that way.
Ghost Dad can suck my butt though. It's not
I don't really mind that. I don't know how I would feel if it was the other cut where it was the ghostly image and then he pops up.
Yeah.
And then he pops up at the last second looking normal for a hot second. Or you know what we get where he's got like some mud smeared over his face.
There's some crud.
Some crud.
Fell into some crud or something.
Fell into some crud. So I don't know. And then there's also the other alternate ending where the ambulance drives away and we cut to a dude out fishing in the lake. And you get to see Jason pop, like straight up out of the first one, pop up out of the lake and kill this guy fishing on the lake, which you wonder how long he's been out there because you're presuming this is early in the mornings. Like, how'd you not hear that cabin blow the fuck up last night? Or see debris all over floating in the fucking lake?
Yeah, look at all that smoking wreckage. I'm gonna go catch some fucking trout.
This fog is really gonna be helpful. Oh, that's not fog. Cabin blew up down the way. They're trying to put the fire out now.
Yeah, the dude's out there trying to fish, just hacking up a lung because he can't fucking breathe. These are California wildfires.
All the fish are just floating on the surface from the explosion.
Oh my God! Yeah, that's the cut we deserve.
Just scooping him into his boat, and was like, "I'm gonna have a hell of a time tonight."
That's excellent. Okay, so there's a lot of characters in this movie, and where we were 2 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, I don't even know the fucking layout because we did the Jay Underwood.
Yeah, we took a mini break in the last episode because we had went to Slash and Bash. We got to talk with Jay Underwood, so we're like, you know what? If he is cool with doing a podcast with us, we're gonna have to break halfway between Fridays just so we can bullshit with Jay Underwood. And he was like, totally fine, we'll do it. I will be on your show. And we're like, Friday the 13th can wait a week or 2 weeks.
Yes.
We'll get back to it because when are we going to have this opportunity again?
Right. What I was going to say is in Jason Lives, most of the characters, very likable. It's a lot like Part 4, okay? Really like good, let's care about these kids type of situation. Part 7, not so much. Not a lot of redeemable characters short of Kevin Spiritus' character. He's the nice guy. So you kind of like him. Lar Park Lincoln.
Okay, so
for what she is, she's kind of whiny. She's not. I don't know. Like, she's not one of my favorite final girls. I'll just say it.
I like her better with her brunette hair and the bitchy character she plays in House 2.
House 2,
I think she looks way better in that than here. The blonde hair doesn't work as well for me. But speaking of the characters, which I kind of course, I'm super partial. I dig a lot of the characters in this movie. I can't remember her name, but of course, the nerdy girl who does the makeover to herself and gets killed.
Why am I blanking on her name?
I am blanking on my name. That's
Maddie.
I have a hard time with anybody's fucking name hardly in this series. I don't know what they're all meat.
Maddie and Robin.
Yeah, Robin. And then we have the fucking Matt, the Dylan 90210 looking dude. Dipshit he is.
What a stupid place to put a lamp.
That guy sucks so much.
He does suck.
Like, all that mud and shit on the fucking kitchen floor, and he's just like, what the fuck? And just walks on over. Like, what an asshole.
That's the weed, man. The weed made him not care about
bullshit.
the mud.
that's an asshole. That's not. Do not blame the drugs on that. Weed does not make you an asshole like that. You go, well, I ain't cleaning this shit up. I'm just walking right on over it. And then how he drinks a beer, like what an asshole, dipshit. Like just drink it. How do you fuck up so much stuff? You can't drink a beer. You're running into lamps.
It's because it's high, man.
Your compliments or you hardly sweat at all. Like what the fuck? Kill that guy. Stab him in the stomach.
He's the most handsome guy at the party, so he's gonna get play, and he's got a bag of weed. So.
But going back to...
And then you and I are over in the corner going, I know, Star Mummy.
Yeah, hanging out with that dude instead. But to go with our thing that we created for the podcast, I did want to give Maddie the Brown Panty Award for this movie because...
Goddamn right.
She is a very likable character. She looks great when she does her makeover. She has, for me, the most tense scene in the whole movie. Her just going underneath that fucking wall. And the creepiest shot maybe in the whole series for me is her looking through that crack and you see the lightning hit and you see Jason's head just turn like he sees her. And the camera does, and what we're seeing through her eyes, what we would be doing at the same time, like he sees us, just tip to the side a little bit, then go back to see if he's still looking. And she also has the best goddamn scream when she gets grabbed and cut. She's got an excellent scream. You're going to get people screaming in this franchise every movie. Some of them are shrill as fuck. Some of them I just can't wait to shut the fuck up. Her scream is perfect.
It's like operatic. It hits it hits notes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's layered.
Yeah, it's a good scream. And what's even better about her death is, like you said, it's suspenseful. Again, this could be MPAA influence, whatever, but like
I don't know on this one.
Not seeing what happens to her is classy and is scary. I think it's scarier than seeing her get her head cut off or whatever.
Like, yeah, because it comes like at waist level. I don't know where the hell this scythe cuts into her. This shit that looks like it's on his murder weapons, the cover art for Children of the Corn. I don't know where it cuts there, but I feel like that's a Beekler thing, is to not show that one. And I don't know what you would show, but everything about her death scene, the entire scene, works. It fires on every cylinder. I fucking chef's kiss. I love everything about that.
The only problem I have with her death scene is the events leading to her death scene. She gets dressed up, she goes downstairs and outside to look for David. She had to walk through the living room to get outside, which is where he would be.
And again, that's one of the cut scenes that makes sense of that, because apparently, one of the cut scenes, I don't know if it's on, I can't remember if it's on the Friday Blu-ray or if I watched it somewhere else, but there's a deleted scene where she is trying weed with David for the first time.
I have never seen that, so that's amazing.
Like, I swear there's a shot where she's trying a puff of it, but she's then trying to, like, she tries it, and then I don't know how they get separated, but she's trying to find David outside again. And that's how things end up how they end up. Because that's the whole point of that is there's cut scenes that explain why the hell she's outside, why the fuck she's all of a sudden looking for David of all the people. Like, she starts, David, because she was out there with him.
Yeah, and that's...
his dumbass has probably just walked outside thinking it was the fucking bathroom or some shit. He's just pissing in the bushes.
Because he's a moron.
He is. He's a goddamn idiot.
That's just one of the things, that led to, like, the stigma of Jason Voorhees. Like, in the video game, he has these, like, teleportation and shift things that he can do. And a lot of that is due to some of the shoddy editing or, MPAA influence. So things are getting cut that make the sequences go in an order that makes sense. So what you're left with on the cutting room floor, what you're left with as a final cut of the movie, is Jason appearing in very odd places right after another, that doesn't seem to make sense. And that lends itself to that, he can just teleport thing, which is it's not true. That's horseshit. He can't.
I mean, it doesn't stretch me as bad as like part 4 does when it's like
yeah.
he's out, he's in, he's in, he's out, he's out, he's in. Maybe it's more acceptable because he's very dead at this point, so he's got those supernatural
powers.
Spectral locomotive type abilities. But another character in this movie we haven't really discussed that I only knew from one other movie up until probably a year ago when I saw him in Tammy and the T-Rex, but we got Bernie Lomax, Terry Kaiser himself in this movie.
Damn right. And boy,
what a piece of shit.
You want him to die in the world's worst way.
Using the mom as a human shield is fucking great.
Susan Blue. You killed a Care Bear, you piece of shit.
I love how his scenes in the woods may be the funniest shit to me because he's out in the woods with the mom looking for Tina. Jason pops around the corner and he grabs a hold of her and puts her in front of him. He's like, oh God, what do we do? More or less puts her in front of him to get killed.
Meat shield.
And then he takes off fucking running. And the funniest shit in the world to me is, you fast forward a little bit, Tina's in the woods looking for her mom, which is funny because they were looking for fucking her. She's walking through the woods and she's walking past, and then Terry Kaiser's just like, psst, hey, Tina. And he's just like fucking with his arms out like he's a fucking tree. Like it's they can't see me. Like
he looks like a T-Rex.
He's like
fucking,
they
don't move.
He's like JP in Grandma's Boy. Like, how could they see me?
Later, turd nugget.
And it works. Jason loses him.
Yeah, for a very brief period of time. Jason
but
can't find
he gets the one of the there's a lot of fucking excellent kills in this movie, but his one, it's chopped up, but what a awesome weapon. Probably one of the most influential things that makes us want to get the new NECA figurine of this Jason is he is sold with this circular saw on a weed whacker stick weapon that he uses. Don't know what the hell, that's
a fucking limb trimmer, dog.
Yeah, like an extreme limb trimmer. Where the fuck do you get something like that? In 38 years, I've never seen anything remotely close.
You gotta mail in 100 Mountain Dew caps. It's extreme.
We need to just go to we need to film ourselves going to Sears and Lowe's and shit. Being like, do you guys have any weed whackers that have a circular saw on the end of it? We're cutting down trees.
Any of our listeners who know what that fucking tool is called, post it in our Discord because I think we're gonna buy one.
Oh, I'll buy 2 of them. I'll buy one as a prop and one I'll probably try to use.
You'd be like Lefty from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, but with 2 fucking weed whackers.
I won't utilize 2 at the same time. I'll use one. I'll bloody one up and use it as a prop to put on the wall, and the other one, this is the one I actually use for shit around the house. Because how can you not? It's clearly gas
shit around the house. What are you doing? Fucking cutting a hole in the floor.
You never know when you're gonna need to cut something that's 5 feet in front of you.
There's a spider on the ceiling, and you're like, "Fuck that!"
Exactly. Tell me if you didn't have that tool. You're like, I could cut this plank of wood by walking up to it with a handsaw, or I could stand back here and cut that
with
motherfucker.
Style.
Yes. With a.
I would do all carpentry with a hockey mask on. Just
that and guaranteed. If I had the money to do it, I would buy one for our buddy Dustin P, who actually does carpentry work and shit. I'm buying you this tool just to carry around in your truck. I don't know if you'll ever get to use it, but I want you to have it.
Hey Bart, you want to see my new chainsaw and hockey mask?
That was the closest I've come to a spit take while recording. Because I'm just picturing our buddy with this fucking tool.
Just chasing like Greg and Genius with it. Oh fuck!
Oh, he
life.
he would try to find a way to bring that shit onto a stage for one of their like presentation nights, just to utilize it. Oh, I'm Destin P. We're dressing you up as Jason if you're listening to this, and we're gonna get you that tool.
Yes, we are. Okay, so there's a couple other things that we haven't really talked about, and another one that I didn't want to just skip over is the window stunt, which is
Oh gosh, yes,
awesome.
There's so much good shit in this movie, but that fucking jump that he just clears by what, like a fraction of an inch, jumping through that window, and he just lands so perfectly. Like, man, does Kane do just the absolute most with his body language here.
Yeah, and it's different because if you go back and analyze all the other Friday the 13th movies, Jason always does kind of crash through a window. In part 2, crashes through the window in the bathroom to try and grab Jenny, but then he also jumps through at the end to grab her when he's maskless. Part 3 kind of bashes through a window. Part 4, obviously, he
blows
bashes
through that
the
door.
And so there's a lot of scenes of Jason doing things like that.
Jason going through walls and objects.
Yeah, and like Jason Lives, he walks through the window of that cabin when he goes out to grab Megan.
Yep.
But in this movie, in part 7, when he jumps through that window, it's a whole different type of oh shit moment. You know what I mean? Like,
because he doesn't
it's-
move fast, but when he does, then all of a sudden he does, and you're like,
It's like
oh,
he like moves with purpose, like a shark.
yeah,
I'm
that
not moving until I see something that I have to fuck up.
yeah. I think he like designed it like a wild animal. Like when the classic thing is when he moves, his head moves, and then the body follows him. And he kind of modeled it after like what you would do if you saw like a wild like dog or something out in the wild. Like you're not sure how it's gonna react, so it kind of it'll like stare at you, see what you're gonna do, and then react to how you're moving. Very predatory in how he was moving, and even when he's not moving, like swear I did not notice this until at some point after I'd purchased the DVD. Which is, it's already been well over, like, probably 15 years since that first DVD 8-pack came out.
No doubt.
But watching that, when that came out, that was the first time I had noticed when dipshit David is walking to the kitchen, there's that lightning flash, and Jason's standing in the corner of the room.
Yeah, the far left corner.
Yeah, and it's so good. Because he doesn't do anything. It looks so cool. It's one of those like, oh, it's super rewarding to see that because I never noticed it for years.
Well, and also, all the other Jasons up until C.J. Graham, if they saw somebody, they were moving towards them. There's a couple of scenes in Jason Lives where, so Sheriff Garris, when he first encounters Jason just stands and stares at him, and it's super intimidating, but it's different than when Kane does it. And there's another scene in part 7 when Tina has her first face-to-face with Jason when he's standing by the mud puddle.
Yes.
And he's literally just standing still under a light.
Heavy breathing.
But that shot couldn't be more than 7 seconds of him standing there, the wide, not the close, but the wide. And when you're looking at that wide, all you can think is run. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you feel your stomach drop.
Because he's right there. There's it's not like a jump scare noise either, but there's like a subtle score to it. Boom, 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 or whatever, And he's there. And it's awesome.
It's just like if you were like just walking along the street and then there's a fucking wolf. And you just freeze seeing a wolf.
Just shit yourself
and the wolf the wolf staring back at you, seeing how you're gonna move. That's how he modeled it, and that's what the vibe is there. It's like that's a wild animal that can kill me in any second. What's he gonna do?
Yeah, but it was the diminishing returns, and so we can't have him back.
We'll get into all that. We got a couple weeks left, but
Oh my gosh, yes, we'll get to that. I still don't blame Jeff Katz. I re-listened to our previous episodes, and I feel like we kind of put it out there that's Jeff Katz's fault.
and I was like, "Fuck Jeff Katz," and I'm still like, "Fuck Jeff Katz."
I don't mind Jeff. Jeff comes off like a nice enough guy in the Never Sleep Again docs and shit. So I'll just say he's the dude responsible for just letting us know that the money people at
That'll work.
the company were like, meh.
Maybe I'll catch him at a convention and be like, "We got to sit down and talk."
I would love to have a sit down chat with Jeff Katz. I feel like that
Yeah.
would be a trip, an absolute trip. So another character, because I mean, David's death is goofy because he gets stabbed in the gut. And
Pothead, get it? Pothead.
yeah, he's stabbed in the belly, and that apparently instantly kills him. Like, just makes you think of like very bad things where it's like it's taking that guy a long time to die from a stab wound in the abdomen. But the
THC leaked into his organs or something. I don't know.
But of course, this movie's known for the sleeping bag kill, which is what it's most famous for. Mm-hmm. But I really am curious if it had not been cut and had been reattainable, how it would have went over with the couple that's in the van that Jason comes up from behind and squishes this dude's head down to about the size of a baseball.
That is fucking amazing.
It's still, even as in rough shape as the surviving film looks, it still is super cool. Like blood bursting out of the eye sockets. Like, it sounds
and
gross
the nose
and shit.
and the mouth.
Yeah,
just
but
pouring.
It is hatchet level, like, insanity. Like,
Yes.
Adam Green could do this shit no problem today. Mm-hmm. And it looks so good in 1988.
Yeah, I would fucking kill for that to get cleaned up and put back in the movie. That, we have a Brown Panty Award, and then one of the things that we're starting on our live streams is My Kind of Death. So, like, our favorite death in the movie. And
I have one for this.
Not in the final cut, that's not my favorite death, but in that uncut footage, that's my favorite death.
Mine's the same either way. If I was dividing up, it'd be the same either way.
Dr. Cruz?
Actually, no. I don't mind the edited version or not of Dr. Cruz's death. For me, the best death in the movie is Melissa's death.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
Because I mean, it's one of the other most iconic shot is Jason with the axe over his head. Everyone sees that image. But the bitch character of this movie, bitch of the franchise, if you go back to our review of the franchise of Cult 45, but Melissa opens the door, Jason's there, and just buries this axe in her face, which, again, I'm 50-50 on whether, because they cut like a Crispin Glover shot of it going into her head. But I'm just as fine with them not showing it because it sounds really impactful. Like, it sounds just as good and not seeing as seeing it. But he buries that axe in her head, and man, does that stunt woman just go for it, because he grabs her and throws her across the room, and she just, like, belly first over the fucking TV in the corner of the room. And just how that body just flies over that TV and smashes it in the ground. It's like, God damn, yes, that's how you kill a bitch. The bitch of the movie gets the bitch death.
Yeah, and it still looks good. It's an amazing kill. Doesn't, like you said, doesn't need to show you too much, right?
Nope.
And I always theorize when I watch that stunt woman go over that table, and I think I've talked to you about it off air. Like, you think there's a crash pad behind that TV?
Man, I don't know.
So she could go down on, like, her forearms?
I don't know, because she looks like between her... She still looks like she lands on her forearms and her head, but she kind of... She goes over the TV, like the arms and head would be the first thing to hit the ground, but still, like, her back and shit is rolling, like she's almost ninja rolling forward a little bit, with her legs just, I mean, free flowing. There's no... That's I think the key part is there's no part of her body movement that is showing resistance. Because you know it's a woman doing it willingly, like she knows what she's doing, but it looks exactly like if you had thrown something unwilling across the room.
Yeah. Totally looks believable.
Yes.
Unlike when Ken Kersinger is the stand-in for Jason in Part 8 and takes the car bump. That looks like shit, and we'll get to that in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. But now we've spent about 50 minutes discussing
I could go
Friday the
forever
13th
about
parts
this
of- I
one.
know.
Yeah, damn.
We definitely could.
I can.
I definitely can, too. I love this movie. Definitely not as much as you, but I do love this movie. But now that we've reached the end of our discussion, I suppose we hit with final thoughts before we move on to the other games.
I'm sure if that's how you want to wagon wheel this thing this week, we can do that.
Our structure is very loose, folks at home. So, my final thoughts. The beginning of the Kane Hodder era. The definitive Jason look. Super high body count. Attractive women. Attractive dudes.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a...
Heidi Kozak.
Dude.
Dude.
Yeah, it's a great, fun popcorn movie. This is 7th in the franchise, right? They know what they're doing. And
You have a hell of a time, like, still making something good when you're up to 7. I think that was even Beekler saying, like, 7. What the fuck can I do with 7 of these goddamn movies?
and it's a great time. So for whatever reason, if you haven't seen Friday the 13th Part 7 and you just listen to us ruin the whole movie for you, now
It hasn't
order it and watch it.
Also, super, super cool. One of my favorite cover arts, too, is the OG cover art for this. Gorgeous, gorgeous artwork for this movie.
It is amazing.
It is my first. It is my favorite. I will always love about everything about this one. Anytime someone's like, what's your favorite Friday the 13th? I'm always like 7, 8, 5. 7 is always number 1, even though 8 is pretty fucking close, and 5 is just fucking fun as shit and sleazy as hell. 7 always wins for me. It's just got the best of everything. I also love the theme music it used in this one. It's just specific for this, and they also used it in like menu music for the DVDs and shit, which I love. I even had the wife make that my ringtone when I call her on her phone. It plays the theme of this movie. So
Nice.
I'm just missing. It's weird because this being my favorite Jason, I didn't get this Jason tattooed on me yet. I did a Part 8 Jason tattooed on me, but I did get Kane's signature and John Beekler's signature because I was like, this is my favorite of this franchise, is this movie. But yeah, I love the shit out of this movie and every little tiny nerd thing about it. Like, I was even gushing over the fucking ambulance shot, for God's sake.
Yes.
If that don't tell you, I don't know what will.
Yeah, it's fan-fucking-tastic. But on that note, I suppose it's time to move on to one of our next segments, Evil. Which one are we going to?
Well, we got in on high notes, but in order to get to the highs, we got to go to the depths of hell. And we're not talking Jason Goes to Hell. We're talking pretty close. We're talking the Amazon 1-star reviews.
Hated it.
This, I feel like the tables have turned on me. Like, as much as it was hard for you to hear 1 stars for Part 4, now it's reversed, and I'm reading my own shit for Part 7. So, first up is King Ali. On May 15th, 2015, 1 star, not so good, and I'm an avid Jason fan. That one's, not too bad.
Yeah.
So we'll get worse. Next up, we have Amazon customer. So welcome back, Rondale Dale Branch. We missed you. We love you.
Yep.
On February 28, 2016, old Rondale says 1 star, the worst of bad. Of all the Friday the 13th movies, and I'm a big fan of the whole concept, as cheese as it may be, this particular movie is so bad it plummets past so bad it's good into WTF level crappiness. Ugh. Not even the single silly moment of Jason surrounded by balloons could rescue this one.
He is at a birthday party.
Yes, there's your other fun factoid you can take to parties and not impress people with is go, you know what the working title for Friday the 13th Part 7 was?
Birthday bash.
Yes. All right, moving on. Next up we have Mr. No Name.
Okay.
On September 17th, 2007. 1 star, another slip up in the series. Just when the series was beginning to come alive, the filmmakers took several steps backwards with this one. A troubled teenage girl with telekinesis accidentally raises Jason Voorhees up from his watery grave where he was put at the end of Part 6, and this pretty much restarts the mayhem and terror at Camp Crystal Lake. I thoroughly agree with one other reviewer on here that the girl that Jason's after in this movie bears far too much resemblance to Carrie. Gore is plentiful. What the fuck? As is sex and nudity. Yeah. But this movie generally lacks interest and appeal, definitely amongst the worst of the heap.
All right, I guess. You do you, man. A lot of those complaints didn't make any sense.
Yeah, gore. Where? All right, I got to take a step back from the microphone for this one because this bad boy is all in caps from Colin McCormick.
All right.
On August 7th, 2000.
21 years ago.
1 star. Bad movie, good makeup job. This one is one of the worst in the series. The acting and the story is horrible, but the makeup job on Jason is excellent. It is so good that it diverts your attention from the rest of the movie. Jason is a big bad zombie character, and that makes him fun. Skip this one unless you want to rent it for a makeup job.
I will rent this movie for a makeup job. Thank you very much, Amazon 1-star review. You fucking bastard.
I love when they have to do in one all in caps. So one more. This is from Lisa Lau.
All right.
Lisa Lau is a top contributor to the pets section of Amazon.
You like them talking animal movies, huh?
I've never seen a top contributor little asterisk next to a username, so I felt, why not add it here?
All right.
So on July 13th, 2013, Lisa Lau says 1 star, big time spoof. Oh man, my husband and I like to watch scary movies, so we thought we'd watch this. Wow, it was awful. We laughed a lot. Granted, this was filmed in 1988, but it was so spoofy, and the acting was horrible. The flashbacks were as hilarious as the music, and that's a debate. Spoiler, think a very bad reenactment of Carrie meets Jason with very bad acting. That's what this is.
I feel like this 1-star reviewer who loves scary movies with their significant other is a liar. I feel like you don't love scary movies. You love watching Hocus Pocus and Sweeney Todd. That's go ahead.
I like Hocus Pocus.
That's fine.
I just feel the condescending attitude with all the excessive letters they put into so many words in that review. Like, I just felt like, what a shit.
Are you the bitch on Amazon who hates everything? Ooh.
Is this the man who wrecked the buffet at the Herald Club this morning?
Mine was an Ugly Kid Joe reference. Deep cut.
Mine was Beverly Hills Cop.
There we go. Look at, see? You only get it here, folks.
Your one-stop shop for complete out of this world sidebar movies.
Fucking anarchy. Total anarchy. All right, so that's the end of the 1-star reviews.
That is all the 1 stars for Friday the 13th, Part 7. Mercifully, that concludes the dark side of this podcast.
Thank you, Lisa Loeb, or whatever your name was.
Lisa Lau, top pet contributor to Amazon, I'll have you know.
All right. Well, now that we're done with the Amazon 1-star reviews, Evil, what does that mean?
It's time to play the game.
Time to play the game. Time to play the game.
It's all about the game, but how you play it, there's a legend around here, and I'm gonna take it.
You're going to take it. Where are you going to take it? I'm low on gas and you need a jacket.
I'm gonna take you, Garth.
Man, redo that whole... Man, I wonder if I could redo that whole opener as Lemmy.
Oh, God. Give it a go before we start this prop game.
I need to, like...
Sippy.
I need to actually...
Here, a killer buried but not
Not
dead.
dead.
Curse.
See,
There's
There's a curse on Crystal Lake. The death curse, Jason Voorhees curse. Few have seen him and lived. Some have even tried to stop him. No one can.
Lemmy.
See, if I was really doing it, I'd just fucking veer off into different things, because Lemmy would not know the words either. He would.
No, he would not. But that's right. It is time for the prop game. The brief synopsis of the prop game is you get to pick something from this movie to take home to add to your own collection, but it cannot be a well-known prop. It has to be a deep cut. There it is. That's the whole fucking point. So, Evil, do you have one? Do you want to start this off? Because, boy, are there a lot.
It is. This is generally like the hardest one for me, because I'll go with 1.5 props.
Okay.
With how I'm gonna, because the first one I can't not have it. I want the fucking mold of Jason's whole getup. This is my fucking Jason. Every time you see the interview on the not the documentary, but on the first DVD run with Beekler, there is a Jason in this full-fledged getup behind him, and I'm like, I want that fucking thing in my house right now so bad. I want that shit. But that's why I said one, and I say 1.5, because my half thing that I'll go with, because we are the Deep Cut podcast, I gotta go deep. I'm gonna go with a prop we technically never see.
Okay.
I want the fucking lamp.
Oh, shit. Now that is fucking wild. I like that. What a stupid place to put a lamp.
All you hear is a fucking crash sound, and the fucking human dipshit on 2 legs, David, just walks in holding his head. What a stupid place to put a lamp. Where the fuck could this... Because you know it's not in a stupid place. It could be fucking anywhere logical. This asshole will crash into it. This is the same guy who falls out of bed putting pants on. Sitting down.
Well, he's high.
No, he's stupid.
Stupid and high.
I've seen a lot of high people. At times, I may have been one of those people. I don't think I've ever been so stupid as this guy is in one day. In a 20, not even a 24-hour, like a 12-hour period. This dipshit fucking hits a lamp, can't put on pants, fucking walks through the shit in the kitchen, doesn't give a fuck, can't drink a beer, spears that all over the place. Like, fuck inviting this guy. If he didn't, like, just slink by on his fucking looks and being the drug guy, no one would invite this guy to their shindigs. Nobody.
Okay, that's true. He's a fucking idiot.
He is. He may be the biggest idiot in this series. And that's saying a lot, because we got some stupid motherfuckers, dumb-ass motherfuckers in this series. Oh my gosh, David, go. Whenever we get to the day where we're doing this as a live stream, Gwildor Award will be going, spoiler ahead of time, to David.
Yeah, you suck, David.
Fucking idiot.
Okay, so my prop is another. It's only in one scene essentially.
Ooh.
and it is...
It's Heidi Kozak's shorts.
I just want to be reincarnated as Heidi Kozak's shorts.
Just a button on one of those ass jean pockets.
No, the prop that I want is Kevin Spiritus's wallet that has a picture of Billy Butler. You have a picture of your cousin?
Yeah,
I think I do.
What?
Also, very hilarious thing between Evil and I off air is that why do you have a picture of like your third cousin in your fucking wallet? Like you only have like 6 flaps for family photos.
Yeah, let me put my cousin in there.
Me and my cousin, man, we go way back.
I mean, even when I was hanging out fairly regularly with my cousin, I don't think I ever owned any photos of him, let alone one to put in my wallet to carry with me at all times so I could, gaze back and look at good times with him while I'm performing, meaningless transactions at the Walmart.
Yeah, so I need that wallet in the world's worst way just so I can have like a vintage photo of Billy Butler. It'll just be here in the video store and people would be like, why do you have that wallet? Well,
the next picture should be the shot of him hanging in that tree.
And then that stupid face he makes in Ghoulies 2 when he's like chewing the gum. You know what face I'm talking about? When
he
he's
never
like,
goes anywhere without his tunes.
You guys are messing with me, or whatever that fucking line.
Fooling around.
That line, yep, that line. He's making that dumbass face.
I don't know what the hell that face is. Like he's sweating, he's like smiling, but he's like scared or pissed. I don't know, but like I don't know what your motivation is there. They're like,
and also that was his first acting role. So.
Oh, fine, but
I'm gonna forgive it. Yeah,
then I'm putting it on the filmmakers. Going, that one. We're gonna go with that one.
Yeah, that's a great take. They only did one because Charles Band is like, we gotta keep moving.
It looks like he knows he's getting ready to get stabbed in the leg before he's stabbed in the leg suddenly in that scene. Like that smile feels like in Jackass when they know something is painful coming. Like he feels like he knows he's getting ready to get stabbed in the leg, but he doesn't know.
Right. So that's all I want is that wallet with just various photos of Billy Butler.
Now I just want an 8x10 of Billy Butler. Stop fooling around.
I'll never stop fooling around, Billy Butler. But on that note, we've already done our final thoughts. We've already done our Amazon 1-star reviews. And now we've just done our prop games. So, I suppose we should probably get going. Because after all, there's a lot of movies out there and somebody's got to watch them. So why not us? Right?
Now we're leaving Crystal Lake, and if we can make it there, we can
make it
anywhere.
New it's up York to you,
City.
New York. All right, I'm done.